Hey, what's up, Francisco? What's up, everybody in the chat? I'm seeing Noni here, KG as
Awesome. Great to see you,
always,
Noni.
Nadia. What's up, all of you beautiful people? Great to see you again.
Awesome. I mean, it's so super exciting. We'll go into it a little bit here, but seeing a lot of new ambassadors in the chat. A lot of long time, builders with us. So very, very excited to be here with all of you today. And it's we're missing Reimar, uh, but he will be back very, very soon. He's just doing a little bit of a world tour, currently in Brazil and soon to be in New York City. So a lot of exciting things going on.
He's doing a tour of duty. We've got Web Summit Rio, huge event, and we had to send our best, so we sent Rymar over there. He's doing some great stuff. Check out his X account and Instagram for some great photos. And then VibeCon is coming up next week too, right? So we got him traveling.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. There's a lot more coming, and it was just cool to see all the ambassadors globally, right? We saw a lot from Brazil. Huge shout out to Federico, who not only was there for Web Summit, but was also this morning on our latest ambassador cohort. So just exciting times all around. And a huge shout out to everyone in the chat. Like you mentioned, Nani, KG, we have Emmanuel, Dario. Great to see you from Portugal as well.
What's up,
Nadia.
Dario?
Yeah, just a great, great group of people here. Casey as well. Always.
Pedro, what's up? Coming in from LinkedIn. We actually have quite a few people that watch us on LinkedIn, which is
It's
cool too.
growing.
And
Yeah. Yeah. Huge
yeah.
shout out to our folks out there.
Emmanuel Perez. Emmanuel's been doing some great events at universities. So Emmanuel, we
Oh,
gotta have you on
sweet.
the show sometime soon to chat about what you're doing. So keep up the good work, man. And Angelina, not Angeline. Okay, let's not make that mistake again. Angelina here, great to see you. Oh, and she's in New York City, so I'm
That's
guessing
great.
you're gonna make it to VibeCon, Angelina. If not, let's make that happen.
Awesome.
Cool. All
Pedro,
right.
you're going to be an ambassador here. Yes, there'll be more information on the ambassadors here very soon. Happy to talk about it.
Ooh, Uruguay. All right. Cool. Awesome. Jam-packed show today. A lot of exciting stuff to cover. So let's get into our community updates. Let me pull that up here. All right, Francisco, take us away.
Awesome. Absolutely. There's a lot happening in the community as always. Very, very excited to kind of have a couple of really exciting updates as of this morning. We just had a new onboarding session. Huge shout out to everyone here who's joining. And again, thank you so much all for being here. Number one thing, I just want a quick reminder we have an updated community homepage. So we highly recommend you go check it out. It's the number one place to kind of see what's going on, what's happening both in person, online. And of course, if you'd like to be part of our community of ambassadors or campus leaders, this is the number one place to be able to kind of go in there and learn more. So both applications are now fully open and live for anyone to apply. So we're very, very excited. We've been kind of doing, small updates in there and kind of for the most part, it's been kind of invitation only. So again, quick little review here. All things community is the community homepage is now updated. And a great place to kind of just check out what's happening. So more updates to come soon. A huge shout out to Reimar for putting this together. It's been absolutely awesome to kind of see it come to life. So yeah, huge thanks there.
And also, this is where you go to sign up for the Discord. I get that all the time. Like, how do I get in the Discord? Go to the community homepage, and there's an option for you to go through the vetting process to get into Discord. And if you're not in Discord, you got to get in there. We are building some great relationships there. You get more contact with me and other folks from the team, and you get to meet other great builders. So definitely get in the Discord.
Absolutely.
All right, we have some new community members.
Yes, a huge welcome to all of our new community members. This week has been a very busy week, a huge onboard of 40 new campus leaders. So just to give you an idea, as of Wednesday, our ambassador group was 40 total over the past essentially 6 or 7 months, and our first our campus leader cohort was actually the exact same size. So very large onboarding that took place this week. And in addition to that, we actually just onboarded 30 new ambassadors as well as of this morning. We had a 6:30 a.m. call this morning to welcome our newest folks from around the world. So I think we're closing in on around 70 ambassadors here at Replit, part of the Replit community program. So if you're interested in that, I highly recommend you check out the application. This is a great way to not only get closer in touch with some of the greatest builders around the world, but also get credits, early access, and of course, with the rep, give some feedback on feature. Replit, KG is part of it. Nani's a part of it now. There's a lot in the every day on the live stream. So come join us. It's going to be a great time. There's a lot more programs soon.
It's a rite of passage. Both me and Reimar started off as ambassadors, and here we are. So, no, a lot of great perks.
Terrible. I'm always complaining. Replit Coach is my ambassador.
Yeah, exactly. We're the OG ambassadors. No, I think for me, it was just a great way to connect with other builders and just get more in the weeds on stuff, get early access to stuff, and just get more access to people at Replit. So no, and then also now you get free credits too. So yeah, definitely check out the ambassador program. And I keep saying, don't wait to sign up for or submit an application for the ambassador program. Start being active, get in Discord, start chatting with folks, start posting about what you're doing in Replit. Doesn't have to be like an amazing project, just chat about what you're building. Those little things help a lot of folks. So get out there and start sharing what you're doing on Replit.
Absolutely. Yeah, so a lot more to come there. We're actually going to do an additional onboarding session as well, probably before the end of June, and then a much bigger one in July, because we had a few folks that were very busy, heads down over at Web Summit Rio who couldn't make it. So we're going to do a little bit of a mini one. So now's a great time to apply. If you had previously submitted an informational submission, we encourage you to go back to the site and do the full application, where you can kind of find out some additional more details from you and get you kind of up and going.
Very neat. All right. We've got some community events to chat about.
Yes, we had a great week in review. So many things happened. We had the Muslim Tech Fest in London over the weekend. A huge shout out to our ambassadors, help support there. We had a Peru community organizer meetup as well, where we had a variety of other folks that are kind of like part of organizing different communities in AI and tech, who got together in a room with Jose Carlos and basically tested out Replit and are now trying to kind of, again, bring Replit to more of their communities over in South America. So excited to kind of see what comes out of there. And of course, we had Web Summit, a huge event. It was an absolute, smash success. Thank you all to participated. We had tons of ambassadors who were there, a lot of community members who were able to join for our after events, and not only just our booth. And of course, how awesome was it to have Reimar, Marcelo, we had Horacio, we had McKelly as well speaking on stage. So just an incredible group of community folks who all got together, were able to meet with users out in Brazil. So just great stuff. And of course, a huge shout out to everyone who was able to go to any of these events. And if you're interested in going to new ones in the future, check out our Luma HQ calendar, which has all of our upcoming live streams. And soon we'll have a lot of more in-person events as well, again, over on the community homepage.
And someone's asking here in the chat, where is VibeCon happening? It's happening in NYC, New York City, next week. Maybe coinciding with the Knicks taking down the NBA championship. That's going to be wild, dude.
Yeah. We're very excited to see you all there very soon. And yeah, it's gonna be a great time near the end of the week. And then I think Angelina's gonna be there as well. We have a few different folks. Alexia is gonna be there too. So just very excited to see you all soon.
Cool. Got community highlights here.
Yeah, we have a couple of really cool community highlights. Number one thing, of course, welcoming new ambassadors to the community. We have Yulia, who just joined us this morning. Andrew and Kevin, the Blumson brothers, are always up to something new. They just created a new gaming highlight with other 22 different games. We can kind of be able to join in there. And of course, we have a new podcast. Nadia and Noni got together and built out a podcast for educators. So a lot more to come there, and just very excited to kind of see what the community's been.
They were on the show yesterday, so we chatted about that. So I'll clip that and share that with folks.
Awesome.
Yeah. So it's really neat that they also came together in the Discord, on the Replit Discord. So that's what I'm saying. Like, these folks met each other, like, hey, let's hang. I think one of them, I think Nadia is in the UK, Noni is in Australia, and now they're
no. Noni is in the UK. Nadia is in like Chicago.
Oh.
She's in the Midwest region.
That's right.
Yeah, no. And I had the same thing this morning. I was like, wow, are you joining us from the UK? She's like, no, I'm in like Chicago. I was like, no, they're like, yeah, but great to see you.
Very neat. Welcome. All right. Anything else here to cover on the community side?
Nope, that's everything from my side.
Cool. All right, let's jump into this week in Replit. Big launch this week. We now are giving you the option to maintain your own set of skills for a workspace or a team or an organization. This has been one of the most requested features that I've seen, particularly on the enterprise side. The ability to have skills and share that across your team. Big game changer. I'm a big fan of skills in general. If you haven't been using skills, you really should. I feel like if a day goes by and I haven't either created a new skill or updated one of my skills, I feel like I've kind of wasted that day. So skills are going to be huge. I'd love to hear in the chat, are you currently using skills? And if so, what are you most excited about here with this new launch? Also, we're giving you the ability to have custom instructions with each of the agent chats within a workspace. So now you can have an opinionated take on how to do certain things for all of the chats within a workspace, a team account, or an org account. And I know in particular, IT folks are going to really like this. This is something that I've been getting a lot of requests for from IT folks. They want to have that those prompts injected when their users are working on their team accounts. So we're gonna have Ayesha on the show a little bit later today to chat more about this. So looking forward to that. Also, we launched a new security feature. This is package firewall. So, a little bit of context here. So, when you're building out your projects, oftentimes you'll go out and you'll download certain packages to make that application happy. As of late, there have been a fair amount of attacks on this front where they're corrupting some of the packages, and we have there's some vibe coders that are experiencing some issues because of that. We are already scanning all the packages that you have in your project. This new feature, package firewall, scans the packages before they're even downloaded. So just one more feature that we're rolling out to help you keep safe as you're vibe coding. Also, big update in our Replit Databricks integration. Now we're giving you the ability to manage who can view certain applications when you deploy those apps into Databricks. So up until now, this integration that's currently in private beta allowed you to have one app that everybody in an organization can view. So if you have a dashboard for your company that everybody should have access to, that's fine. Now we're rolling out the ability for you to have more granular control in terms of who sees that app. So if you're working on sensitive data, if you're in HR, if you're in finance, or you just want to make sure that only certain people have access to the application when you deploy it to Databricks, this new upgrade to this integration is going to allow you to do that. More exciting stuff coming up on this. And then also, we're going to be at their Databricks AI Summit coming up soon next week as well in San Francisco. So if you're there, stop by and say hi to the Replit team. All right, big show today. As I mentioned, we're going to be talking to Ayesha a little bit in just a moment to talk about workspace skills and custom instructions. And we also have Burhon from Silk, who was on the show I want to say like a month and a half ago when he and his partner had just launched his company Silk, and he was just kind of giving us an update on how he was getting started in his early traction, and recently just told us that he hit 10K in monthly recurring revenue. So we're gonna want to find out how he's doing that and the update and the progress that he's making on that front. So with that, I think we'll get our first guest on the show here, Francisco. Anything else we want to cover before we move on to skills and custom instructions?
No, that's pretty much it. I'm going to give Aisha's going to come here in a moment and we'll be good to go.
All right.
One moment here.
All right. So we're going to give Francisco a moment to switch over to our next guest. In the meantime, let me check out the chat. Who's here in the chat? What's up, Casey? Great to see you, Casey. What are you working on these days? Love an update. Let's see. Any other questions here? Databricks is huge. Yeah, I'm excited about Databricks. The ability to pull in data and start building out applications in Replit and then push those applications to Databricks. There's a ton of use cases for that. In particular, I like the idea of building out custom dashboards and analytics, making them your own, making them really interesting to look at. And so this work that we're doing with Databricks, I'm pretty excited about. I did a live stream with the Databricks team a couple months back, so go and check that out to get up to speed on that. It was a really good, well attended live stream. Yes, getting into custom instructions, Siddharth. In just a moment, we're gonna have Aisha on the show soon, and she's gonna tell us all about it. So we're just waiting for Aisha to get back here. Cool. And then just look at the chats here, see what else we have here. Good to see you. W's in the chat. How's it going? Josh, how are you? What are you working on these days, Josh? Drop it in the chat. What's up, MJS? Good to see you. Yeah, KG wants to be at Databricks Summit next week. I agree. If you can make it to that to the AI Summit, definitely go check it out. They're going to put on a great show. And yeah, I think this is the work that we're doing with Databricks just more in line with more and more integrations and partnerships that we're rolling out with enterprise grade platforms and solutions. Last week we talked about the ability for you to deploy into Microsoft Fabric. We also have the ability for you to deploy into GCP as well, the Google Cloud offering. So whatever platform your company's on, Replit's going to be able to work with that platform to, again, give you the ability to build out your own custom applications in interesting ways, and then deploy that back to your team when you want to share. So just more and more of these rolling out, and these are just only going to get better. And in part, this is being driven by a ton of enterprise demand that we're seeing. A lot of folks in the business world are now starting to get interested in vibe coding. They're turning to Replit as that tool to do it. We offer great controls in terms of how to roll that out to your team, keeping it safe. And I think we're the safest place to vibe code. So if you're looking to introduce vibe coding into your organization, definitely check out our enterprise offering. And recently, we also made it self-service as well. So you could just go onto our site and sign up for our enterprise account. It takes like 5 minutes and you're up and running with that. So with that, let's bring on our first guest here. All right. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Manny. Nice to see you. Hey, everyone.
Good to see.
I'm Aisha.
Hi, Aisha. Good to see you. Maybe introduce yourself to the community. You were here a couple months back. We were talking about the new Pro Plan updates. But for those that are new here, tell us about yourself and your role at Uptake. Excuse me, at Replit.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me again. I have been at Replit for almost 8 months now. I work on our product team and specifically focus a lot on areas around enterprise and money and billing. But yeah, really excited today to tell us that we launched.
Awesome. Well, let's jump into it. We launched skills, so the shareable skills, the ability for you to maintain and share skills across your org, and also custom instructions. Maybe like a good jumping off point is explain to folks what a skill is and what we just launched and why that's important. And I'll just kind of kick us off. For me, pretty straightforward. Skill is instructions for how to do a particular task. It's usually in a markdown type of format, and you're just telling agent how you want something to be done. And you think that, that on the surface isn't that big of a deal. But I have just found that as I'm working with agent and agents in general, those skills have been super helpful, especially as I do recurring tasks. And so as I do a particular task, I just want to document that and put that in a skill and have that be available to agent so that I get the same repeatable process every time. And so that's pretty much what a skill is at a high level. It's been pretty popular. And I'm pretty bullish on skills in general. I think we should be building skills every day. So maybe anything else you'd add to that, and maybe talk to us about what we rolled out yesterday with making them shareable across your org.
Yeah, so we rolled out basically what we're calling customization. So now, if you're on a core, pro, or enterprise plan, into your workspace settings, you'll see this new area where you can customize the Replit agent for the first time. Point, if you find yourself giving repeated instructions, Replit agent, maybe practicing today, that's a great opportunity for you to create that kind of guidance in this new customization tab. With skills or custom instructions. So every team has conventions about maybe certain libraries you want to use, maybe certain libraries you don't want to use, things you want to check off your list for any project that you might have, maybe guidelines for projects. And this customization tab is a great place for you to be able to write those. So yeah, I really recommend trying out skills. We have released to your workspace. Now, when you skill, anybody on your team can use it. And as Manny described, this is an instruction file. There's usually a skill.md file, but you can also upload a folder where the skill can refer to any other assets that you might have. So for example, if you're writing a brand design skill, maybe you want to include like an image of your logo. So when you go to add a new skill, you'll see the ability to either upload a file or a folder, and you can go from there.
Very neat. And apologies to folks on the stream. Our Wi-Fi at the home office is a little slow, so we might be coming in and out there. But yes, so as you mentioned, so here I'm in the custom. So I'm going to settings. So I'm in a workspace. Will this work on my personal workspace, or do I have to create a new workspace for this to kick in?
It should work on your personal space. Maybe most helpful in a collaborative workspace, because if you have other folks on your team who want to create projects with your skills, you'll need a collaborative workspace.
Gotcha. And then, so I'm going here to settings and in a workspace. And then now I have this customization function, and I have two tabs here. I have skills and I have instructions. So I already uploaded this skill, but let me just show you what this looks like in practice. And let me bring the skill up. Oops. Okay, share this. Okay, so I have a skill here. So after each of these streams, I'll send out a recap email. And so I already kind of have a way that I want that to be processed. So here is my skill. It's called the recap email, and there's a description. And why this is particularly important here is because this is what agent is going to read in when it's looking for opportunities to invoke this skill. And so you can see here, there's also some direction in terms of when to use the skill. So if I use terminology like this or something similar to this, agent's going to look at my skills inventory. It's going to find this one. It's like, oh, Manny wants to do this and wants to do a recap email, and it's going to bring that in. So I have that. Let me share this tab here. So I have that skill that I've put in. You can also add other skills here. So as you mentioned, you can choose a file, you can choose a folder of skills, and you can bring that in. Can I bulk upload skills?
Not right now, but it is something that we're thinking about working on soon.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I have like 10, 15 skills associated with some of this work. So I just like to be able to upload all those at once. But right now, so you just upload them individually and you bring that up. And then the cool thing is then when I go and create a new project, so that's already uploaded. I say like something like create a recap email for the show. I can just go here and then I will upload the transcript for that show agents should be able to pull up that skill and write the show. So I've just put in a transcript here, and then I'm just saying just create the recap for the show, and then we should see agent now look at its inventory of skills and like to say and look at that skill that I just uploaded and say, hey, that's the relevant skill that I want to pull in, and start writing these instructions here. Very neat. So as that's building, anything else to share around skills? How are you seeing people use skills?
Yeah, we see folks have really the amount of skills since we've launched yesterday has exploded. Like we knew this was a very requirement that we wanted to invest in. It's been really fun to see how many skills folks have already created. Um, and yeah, I think that's really useful for anything that you might want to do repeatedly across. So as soon as you find yourself telling the agent something that you've already told it, think about making a skill around that. Skills are also really helpful for our enterprise customers. If you have specific guidelines that you want everybody in your company to follow, that can be really hard to manage at scale. But something like skills or custom instructions can really help provide that guidance for everybody on your team in a way that you have to, actively manage. Like in this example that you had, you didn't even have to explicitly select the skill because you had written such a great skill with a good description. And if available for somebody to also browse, so if you look at like the plus sign here, you'll be able to see your skills there. So if you wanted to explicitly select a skill, you can. But it's a really great way for your team to have kind of the same set of standards or same guidelines across the board. We also has released a new landing page at replit.com skills that has a bunch of skills that our own field engineering team has written based off of things that they've found to be really useful for customers. So you'll see things there like making sure that every project that you work on, it's I think a great example. Way down here, you'll see there is a little library here. These are meant to be inspiration. Every team should think about the edits and tweaks that you might want to make to these. But get you started if you're looking for useful skills.
Very neat. Definitely want to dig into this. But what you mentioned earlier, I think that's really important. So you can see here, first of all, that agent immediately said here, like, oh, this maps to a dedicated skill. Let me go and read that. So it's going to go and load that skill. And then like automatically, like you can see that it's giving me the format that I'm looking for. This is from last week's show when we covered Shopify. So it's giving me some subject line options. It's giving me the text. And so I'll just be able to grab this and share that. Oh, let me share this tab. Sorry about that. Okay, thank you. So here again, you see that agent immediately saw that there was a skill that it could use, and it read it in, and like just gave me the format that I was looking for. So I think this would also work for marketing teams. So if you have a particular voice for your brand, or if you have a particular way of doing a press release or a X post or a LinkedIn post or an Instagram post, I can see you having a number of different skills for that. And in fact, I also have skills when it comes to posting my social media content. So I have a particular style that I like, and I put that in a skill so that now when I go to a show, I take a clip and I just grab that transcript and I say, hey, give me a really good X post for this. Agent already knows how to do that style. So I just review it, make some changes, and I'm able to post that. Just helps streamline things quite a bit. And then also you mentioned this idea of like, where do I see the skills that I have here in this project? So you go here to the tools panel and you look for agent skills, and then you can see the skills that I have in this particular project. And then you also have skills that I have access to in this workspace. Now, right now, Aisha, if I wanted to add a skill to this workspace, do I have to have admin rights on the workspace to do that, or or me as a user, can I push skills to the workspace without that permission?
Yeah, any member can add a skill to the workspace, and on enterprise, only admins can add skills.
Ah, very neat. And then the other question that I had is, so updating the skill. So say I'm working here in this project and I want to make an update to the skill that I'm just realizing as I'm building it out. Can I have agent in the session update that skill at the workspace level, or is that something that I have to go back to that initial pane to upload manually again?
Yeah, right now, manually again in Workspace. You can use it to write skills. So one thing that I've done for skills that I wanted to create. So for example, since I work on PRDs and doing some prototypes, and I have a specific format that I like to follow, and I created that skill agent just like you ask agent to create any web to help you write a skill. It'll guide you through it. You can test it in that project editor. And then you can go into your file tree, open your agents folder, and then you'll be able to take that skill.md file and download when it's ready for everyone to use.
Yeah, and if I recall correctly, that's going to be under. So you want to make sure you're showing your hidden files. So you go here. So first of all, actually, let me show everybody how to get here. You go here on the right hand side. You click on File Tree, and then you want to make sure you're showing hidden files. And then under .agent, you'll see a subfolder that says skills. And these will be the skills that pertain to this particular project. You can also have agent download those skills, and then you can upload those skills to the workspace. Yep. Perfect. Okay. I like this. Yeah. For me, I'm going to have a bunch of skills here, and it's going to be great for folks to have access to this. So when, if someone else wants to do the recap email, or if someone else wants to do other things that I do after the show, they'll have all of the instructions here ready to go. So they just put in the raw details, the transcript, the comments, and they're going to get the same exact output that I want for that particular show. So I'm really excited about this and the ability to update this over time. I think this is just going to get better and better. Okay, so we talked about writing your own skill, uploading that, and then how to use it. And I showed you how agent does that. Good question here in the chat. Can you show us how to bring skills from outside of, or from this inventory that we showed? So let's go back to this page. And again, that's replit.com/skills. And you can scroll down here to the skills library. And for the skills that we've made available at Replit, you could just download these and you'll get a markdown file. So let me see if I can bring that in here. So I just downloaded this one here, make apps resilient, share this tab. And then here is the skill for making apps resilient here. I guess the other question that I had was, at what point should I be thinking about writing a skill? So like in some ways, some of this I might expect agent just to handle out of the box. So am I like looking for areas where agent isn't necessarily giving me the best output consistently? And then at that point, do I go and try to integrate a skill? Or do you think I should be more proactive and like try to find all the relevant skills that are pertinent to a project and try to get those loaded up so the agent has access to that? I mean, how would you think about that?
Great question. I would definitely recommend looking through skills that are either on our landing page. There's available for inspiration. And I think that what I would think about skills as is like maybe a way to help save you on some prompting. Building an app where if I build an app endpoint and I want to make sure that there are rate limits, that might be something that I would need to explicitly tell the agent, hey, like that in a big part of my app. And you can think about the skill is a shortcut to that. We'll always make sure that it has Excel accounting. So I would really think about a skill anytime you find yourself doing kind of repeated prompting across projects, or if you think that it can be useful for any project that you're creating. You'll notice, like in some of these skills, the instructions are quite specific, and that can be really helpful for agent. And you can obviously customize them, but for something like accessibility, instead of telling the agent, okay, go follow these exact guidelines, and you'd have to write potentially quite a large prompt, you can use the skill to save yourself some time.
Gotcha. So I guess the guidance there for me is maybe go through the library, get a sense of what skills are available, just have a sense of that. And so that as you're building out and maybe you run into some friction with agent, then like, oh, there was a skill that was in the library. Maybe let me go and grab that and bring this into this particular project or for this into this workspace um to help me build that out.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, or anything that you find yourself repeating to the agent. I think that's a great candidate for a skill as well.
Perfect. And so, okay, so we talk. Okay, so a couple things. Write your own skills. I do that all the time. As you're doing particular tasks, just take the time to write. I think if you do a task more than one or two or three times, then that's a great opportunity to write a skill. And again, as Aisha mentioned, agent can help you with that. Just have agent say like, hey, I want you to write a skill for this, drop it into my project, and then use that and go and upload it to your workspace. And then two, if you want to look at skills that we have available for you to download, go here to the prompt library, excuse me, the skills library here, and download these and bring them into your project. And the other cool thing that I saw is that we also have a section here of partner skills. So maybe tell us a little bit about this, Aisha. Like, why, when should I be thinking about using some of these partner skills in my builds?
Yeah, we're really excited to work with these great companies to bring in these partner skills. So when you're creating a connection to any of these other third-party services with your Replit app, the skill can help guide the agent to do best practices. So you'll see many of these skills link out to GitHub repos that our partners have written that provide best practices. So, for example, on the resend skill, you can bring this into your workspace, and anybody who is using the resend connector to send or receive emails with their project, um, their connector will be guided with these best practices.
Got it. I really love this because one is when we're working with agent is pulling documentation from some of these providers to help you through a process, but those providers might have a particular way of doing certain things, and my experience has been is that they're updating their skills in near real time. So when something changes on their end, they're updating their skills. And so if you're using one of these tools and you're maybe getting stuck somewhere, then consider going to this library to try to pull in the skills directly from that partner to help you streamline things. And this is a GitHub. A lot of these are in GitHub. So what I would do is I would just copy the URL. And then if I go back into Replit, I would just say like, build an app and use these skills, and then just drop the link to that Git repo. And then agent will know to go there and pull in all of the relevant skills from this provider. So in this case, it's resend for sending out emails and doing email automation work. But this is really neat. I see this growing over time, and it's a great resource for folks as well.
Yeah, the other thing that I would recommend is you can also directly download from the GitHub repo and then bring it into your workspace settings. So that way, anybody who's ever on your team working with the resend connector would get the resend skills.
Yeah, people are loving this. Partners skills are really good. Somebody said, yeah, like building out your skills library, that's a must do. Yeah, I think so. I think you want to really have a robust skill library that you can point to and direct people to, and it's just going to help you do your work a lot faster, and then also it's just going to help you share knowledge with the rest of your team. I think it's sort of the new like knowledge management approach to work. All of that should be parked in skills for you to share with everybody. So really nice feature to be able to share these skills across a workspace. Very neat. I also want to touch on custom instructions. Anything else that we want to mention on skills before we move to custom instructions?
Yeah, I think just to your last point about creating a robust skill library, what's great about skills is agent will decide whether or not to pull them into your project. So would encourage you to write a lot of them, make sure that they're distinct. So there's like a clear in your description for the skill, you're providing clear guidance about when to use the skill. And then you can add a ton of skills that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, agent will help you write the skills, which is even better. Very neat. So yeah, definitely take advantage of skills. Again, I can't talk enough about skills. It's once you're into the skills, you're just gonna see just how beneficial it is. It's for even just you doing your own work. Okay, so the other thing that I wanted to touch on as well is our new custom instructions. So let me go here. And again, we're going to the same area of settings and customization. And now there's a new tab here called custom instructions. So the idea here is, let me take that out and let me save this. The idea here is that you want to direct every single conversation that agent has with a builder on your workspace in a particular fashion. And so this has come up for me in a number of ways. One in particular has been around IT folks that want to make sure like their builders aren't like using certain packages or aren't exposing certain things, or like are using a particular stack that they really like. And so I think this is going to give them the option to build that into all of those agent conversations and make that easier for them to manage. But I guess, aside from that, Aisha, like what other use cases do you see here? Like why would somebody be using custom instructions?
Yeah, custom instructions should generally be used sparingly because they are going to be applied to every single project. So you have to really think about for any particular new project that somebody might build, is that custom instruction relevant to that project? This also these are guidelines that the agent will do its best to follow, but it's also not 100% deterministic. So I'll flag that as well. But yeah, the IT cases are some of the most commonly used ones that I've seen. Specifically, things like "do not use this package" or "do not use this stack." I've seen many customers want to do, but this can also be a great place if you have like very specific brand guidelines, for example. So if you never want to use like camel casing in any product copy, like or things like that. That can be another kind of custom instruction that you might want to add. Um, so really think about those things that are truly going to be the same across every project that you would want to have in there.
Got it. The use case for me that came to mind was directing everybody to plan mode. So I just dropped in a prompt here, and this is before I have any custom instructions. And I said, "Hey, build me this driving game." And you see agent kicking right into that. Like, all right, just starts building. But I recommend to folks that they always start in plan mode. So if I'm managing a workspace, I can nudge people in that direction. So if I go back here to my custom instructions and I drop in this instruction saying, before you build anything, prompt the user to start in plan mode, and I save that, and then I go back here, and then let's try put it in the same prompt. And now what I expect is I expect agent to say, wait a minute, before you jump into oh, actually I gotta Go to the right workspace. That's another thing. We have to make sure we're in the right workspace, don't we? So let's drop this in here. And then now what I expect agent to say, like, wait a minute, before we start building something, let's jump into plan mode. That's what's recommended. So let's see if this kicks in. Very neat. So yeah, I think your point is it should be used somewhat sparingly because it might impact the performance of agent across the organization as people are building.
Yes, totally. And it looks like it picked it up here, which is nice. And the other thing that I think was great about this custom instruction that you wrote is keeping it short and very clear, I think is really important. The agent needs to be guided very specifically. So we really recommend keeping these like short and specific.
Now, I don't know if you had to do the uppercase here, but I just threw that in for styling. So yeah, very, very, very short, very specific. Like before you build anything, prompt the user to start in plan mode. And again, this is, this is not the best prompt either. So I guess I could also have instructions of like, make sure before you build something that the user has given you like a good, like detailed, well thought out prompt before you start building, because now this is going to burn tokens and I might not get what I want. And so you might want to have your team just follow best practices when it comes to prompting. Sorry, this is the build that I was just referring to. And it's it's building, it's burning tokens, not the best prompt here. But then if I go here to the build with the custom instructions, now you see it asking me to go into plan mode right away. So you say before I start building, recommend going in plan mode to lay this out, and then I can say, yeah, let's go into plan mode, and then I can have a conversation with agent and plan out my build a little bit more before I start building everything. So yeah, this is like really neat, and it works right away. It's I just saved it, and then like immediately in the next prompt, it started working. So if I update a custom instruction, does that like kick in right away, instantaneously across all of the builds that are happening on the workspace?
Yes, the custom instructions will be pulled in right away. It will depend on the specific instruction. So, for example, because in the other project you had already started building, that particular guideline didn't apply. But both skills and custom instructions will be automatically updated across your projects in your workspace. So um, if you make changes to a skill and then later on somebody is like, oh, I want to use the design system skill, they'll get the latest, even if the project was already kicked off.
Very neat. Anything else on the roadmap that you want to tease for folks? So we talked about the ability for people to bulk upload skills. We also talked about the ability of having agent update skills from a project. So if I'm working on a project and I notice that I want to make a change to a skill, I'll be able to have agent upload that and update that at the workspace level. Anything else that people should be on the lookout for?
Yeah, we're really excited to get this out there because I really want to hear your feedback about what would be useful. We have so many different ideas of things that we could continue to build from here. So we want to make it easier for you to create a skill, make it more guided with a form potentially like interface, be able to save skills for just yourself, not just for your whole workspace. So maybe, something like your recap email skill would be something that you would use all the time, but maybe not everybody at Replit needs. Yeah, tons of improvements that we're thinking about making it easier to save a skill from the project editor back to your workspace, and so much more. We're also going to be investing a lot in design systems and making it easier for your projects to follow those kinds of guidelines. So there's a lot of stuff that is coming down the pipe, and yeah, we're really excited to hear what you think, and looking forward to like prioritizing these feature improvements based off of your feedback.
Awesome. So yeah, drop your suggestions in the chat. Go test it out. Try, tag me, tag Ayesha. Let us know what you think. And yeah, I think this is just the start of many things to come. And again, yeah, skills are so important. Definitely start building out that skill library, as somebody mentioned in the chat. Aisha, thank you so much for coming to the show. Really appreciate it. Thanks for rolling this out. This is going to be amazing. Looking forward to having you back on the show for updates.
Awesome. Thanks, Manny.
Talk soon. All right. So thank you very much to Ayesha for coming on the show. Let's get our next guest queued up. But first, let me see if there's any questions here that we want to field. Anything on skills, custom instructions. Yeah, drop your questions here in the chat. Um, and yeah, and your suggestions in terms of what you want us to add to this feature. I'm going to pass all of this. I actually have a skill. It's cute, funny enough. I have a skill that takes all of the comments from the live streams and gives the product teams that come on the show feedback in terms of what people liked, what people had questions on, what was maybe frustrating about a feature. So that's another skill that I have as well. Just something that I have to do after every live stream. So it just makes sense for me to encapsulate that in the skill and just like have the same output again and again with agent. So keep dropping in those comments and those questions, and we'll be sure to send that over to the skills product team. So with that, we have our next guest here. So let's bring him on stage. Hey, how's it going? I I think you're muted. There, I think it's coming in now.
Manny, how are you?
Hey, great to see you.
How we doing, brother?
We going by Base or are we going by Burhon here?
Base. That's just what
Base.
everyone knows me by. Yeah.
Let's go. What's
How
up?
are you, man?
Man, I'm doing well. I'm so looking forward to our chat. A little bit of context for everybody. You were on the show a couple months back now, because you won our content challenge. You're rolling out a new app, and you came on the show. You told us about the app, and I just got so many ideas from our conversation. And then recently, I saw some great news in terms of progress that you're making on the application. But maybe I think a way to introduce folks to you, maybe we should play that video.
Yeah, if you have it up, let's
I
do
think
it.
that would be the best way to do it because it's so good and kind of tells your story and what you're building. So let me bring that up here.
Everybody's saying what's up in the chat. How are you guys? Hope you guys.
Hey, what's up, Base? Yeah, you're a favorite here with the community. So let's
Thank
play
you.
this here. Let me know if the audio doesn't come through.
Audio is not coming.
Did the audio not come through?
Audio is not working. Yeah.
Oh man. All right, let me see here. Let me try to reshare this. Give me a moment. Also audio on tab. All right, let's try that one more time.
Talking about it. It's not
There
that we
you go.
don't want to learn. It's that every time there's a reason why first generation Afghans are losing their daddy faster than any diaspora group. No one's talking about it. It's not that we don't want to learn. It's that every tool out there was built for the mainstream languages. Spanish gets Duolingo and French gets Rosetta Stone. But we get nothing. And silence is how language dies. So that's why we built Daddy.fyi. It's a gamified way to help you learn Daddy. Think of Duolingo, but actually built for us. We wanted something fun and interactive. Something that released the stress behind learning Daddy. We're building this for every Afghan kid who was at every Memani, just nodding along when people were talking to them in Daddy, but never really knew what was going on. It started with an idea. So I took that idea and put it into Replit Agent 4. And this is what happened. We were able to build out an entire product just by using plain English. Mind you, me or my co-founder have zero coding experience, but we put all of our hopes into Replit. Within 48 hours, we went from idea to fully working product that now thousands of people have come to try. $5,000, we want to be able to expand this beyond Daddy. We want to be able to teach other Central Asian languages that are being forgotten. Tajik, Pashto, Iranian Farsi, and so many others. We deserve to carry on our legacy through us. So Replit, you have the opportunity to help these Central Asian diaspora hold on to their heritage. Are you in? Oh yeah, Eid Mubarak.
Let's go, dude. And that's what won you the week one content challenge. So let's see, that was April, so early April.
Time's flying.
Wow, time is flying. We're a couple months after that. Tell us about where you were at this point in the process in early April and where you are now.
So right after we won the challenge, in that time frame, I would say April, May, June. Wow. So we were probably just touching like maybe 1,500 MRR, and we got our, I mean, thankfully, I mean, right when we got our first customer like 24 hours after our soft launch, and we got like $4 in, and we were like, okay, this is like, we have something, you know? So I think by mid, I think this was April 14th, you said?
Yeah, early, yeah, April 1st. Yeah. Mhm.
April 1st. Yeah, probably around like 1,000 MRR. And then we were just like, you know, we actually have something like really tangible on our hands. So then we really just doubled down content. Like we talked about last time. It's really been the driving factor. And a lot has happened with our content. We got, our account got hacked recently. So we were out of our account for like 8-9 days. So that impacted growth like really, really hard, but you know, we got it back thankfully. So we'll talk about that later.
And yeah, you know, I encourage everybody to go and check out that interview. It's on our YouTube channel. A couple of things that I recall from that. One is that you don't have a technical background. You have a marketing background, which I think is unique. Like you have like a content social media background. And it's even unique for Replit builders because we see a lot of product managers, designers using Replit to build applications. And then they build something and then they go and they try to get distribution or get it in front of folks. And that's where they struggle. Whereas I felt like you and your co-founder, you were marketing first, you were social media first. And so you were out there putting out content, getting a feeler for the pain points, building out community.
Yeah.
And then once you got strong signal on that, then that's when you went to prototype something in a Replit and then put it in front of people. And that really blew my mind away because it kind of flipped the script in terms of how I was typically thinking, how I was thinking about things, where you build a prototype first and then you try to do distribution. You flip that around and you were doing distribution and attention first and then building the prototype and then funneling that attention into that prototype.
Yeah, for the most, I mean, we were kind of building it in parallel, you know? It was like, just to kind of give you a little bit of the backstory, right? Like we talked about on our original talk. Like, so my co-founder and I, we were at the gym when we were talking about this idea. And while we were just in between sets, we basically just turned on the voice dictation and we just like talked. Basically talked Replit's ear off basically. And then it got an initial prompt. And then while we were at the gym, it started building it for us. And so while we were building it out, that was a Friday night. Up until Sunday, we were kind of like ideating, like, you know, on everything. And then I believe it was Sunday night or Monday night, I didn't even talk about the product. I basically talked about the issue that our product is solving. And I was in an In-N-Out drive-through, and I was just like, the back tail lights are like all in my face. My face is all red, and I was just like, I need to post something, you know, about this, just to kind of, you know, see what the interest is. And across Instagram and across TikTok, within 24 hours, we had like 40 or 50K views, and just like so many people saying, you know, this would be great. Where is this? Is there a link? Whatever it is. And so us knowing we already had, you know, the kind of the product skeleton MVP ready, we're just like, okay, like we just, you know, we need to double down. So we kind of soft launched it that day. We kind of just put it out. We told our friends, told our family. And then the coming days after that, I think it was the next day or 2 days after, we were just like putting it in our bio or just like putting it into our comments saying, check it out here. And then, yeah, it's been, I mean, now we just crossed 10.3K and we're over 10,000 followers across our platforms, across like my TikTok, across the brand TikTok, across everything. So it's like, we're still so early on and there's still so many things changing. I mean, we have a team of 11 right now. Like we have 3 engineers, we have audio translators, we have, you know, QA, we have a data analytics manager. So like, there's so many things happening right now, but it's been a blast. Honestly, I'm really happy.
That's amazing. So the key lesson here is build in parallel, because I think what folks do, the tendency that I'm seeing for builders is they spend too much time in the building phase and you know, adding feature after feature after feature. And you had this kernel of an idea and you're like, hey, let's go into Replit, let's just start chatting about it, see what's possible, get some visibility on what the MVP might look like. But then also in parallel, you're going to social media and you're saying, hey, here's the problem that we're identifying. Here's a potential solution. Who's interested in this? And then once you get that signal from folks, then it gives you motivation to then just wrap up that prototype and ship it and print it and put it in front of people.
Yeah. Listen, you can have an amazing product, right? Like you said, but if you don't have a market for it, or if you don't know who your market is, right, you're working up, like you're working an uphill battle. It's gonna be really difficult, and you could spend all that time, right, on a product. You could spend a week, a month, a year, whatever it is, building it out. But then if you don't have an email list brewing, or like some kind of like following on social media saying like, where is this at, like it's just going to make things a little bit more difficult, you know. So we kind of build it into, we built those two platforms in tandem. And to answer the question in the chat, the way that we garnered the approach for the attention was just I literally put up my camera on my dashboard while I was in an In-N-Out parking lot, and I just talked to the camera. And I know it can be very cringe, but I think from a founder's perspective, people want to buy from people. People want to learn from people. People want to like experience, you know, vicariously through other people, you know. And I knew, as far as saying, you know, living on social media, right? Like we see the sickest brands come through are all founder led, you know, like Bloom, like Poppy, like Mudwater, like all these cool brands in the CPG space specifically. They're front and center, you know. They're talking to their people. So we just saw like it's inevitable, and we have to do it, you know. And especially like culture's so tied to us, you know, like we're so embedded within our culture, and we see it's so important, you know, that we have to hold on to our culture, especially living in the West and wherever we are. So
two things that I keep see coming up. Number one is that I find that early buyers of your product aren't necessarily going to buy what your the product or the prototype. They're buying you as a personality, and so that's why it's so important to get in front of the camera and just talk about the problem that you're trying to solve, and try to build some credibility and show people why you're the person to solve it. And I feel like that's 90% of the job. If somebody, you know, checks out a video of Base and like, oh yeah, he feels my pain. It's his pain too. He's gonna solve it. I'm gonna go on. I'm gonna jump on board for the journey. So even if you don't have the perfect app ready to go, I'm buying you. I'm buying the journey. And then the other thing that I see as well is like, if you can hone in on a pain point for someone, they will give you so much grace in terms of even like the quality of your content,
yeah,
or even where your prototype is. Maybe it's 60% of the way there. Like if you can articulate their pain, and you can convince them that you're here to solve their pain and it's only a matter of time, I feel like they're just going to jump on board with you and like start trying out the things that you're pushing.
yeah, honestly, again, you nailed it on the head. You buy from people, and like you could see a cool product, and like that's why UGC is such a big thing right now, or TikTok Shop, because people are buying from people, you know. And I'm the same person as the mom who's a stay-at-home mom who's trying to teach her kids Daria, Pashto, or Urdu, or the dad who like can't get time, or he only has an hour with his kids before he has to go to work, or the uncle who wants to connect more with her, you know, nieces and nephews, whatever it is. Like I'm all of those people, you know. And Replit just makes it, and made it so easy to be able to get our idea out onto the platform and into the world, you know.
You had a great tweet recently. So you just hit 10K in monthly recurring revenue. Let's go, dude.
Let's go.
I'm so pumped for you, man.
Dude,
That's
thank you so much.
amazing, dude. That's
Thank
so amazing. Okay, so a couple things here, a couple great tips. Again, get to market ASAP.
Fast as you can.
60% is like ready to go. Like if people are buying into your story, if you're articulating that pain point, 60% is ready to go. And again, I'm recalling our previous interview. You had a great point, because my counter to that was like, well, don't you want to launch with a wait list, like, you know, first before you build something? And you said like, no, actually the 60% prototype is better, because one, you start getting paid. Two, you get feedback from actual real users that are paying you money for your application.
Exactly. Yeah.
So they're building out the roadmap for you. Who's going to tell you better what to build? Like folks on
Then the
social
users
media,
themselves, yeah.
or rather, yeah, exactly. Like, or like actual paying users, like that paying user has a much higher quality signal. So
Yeah.
I think that's spot on, dude.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, when we were talking about this idea about launching, like I was very hesitant, you know. In my world, I'm a creative at heart before my marketing background. You know, like I'm a painter. I painted this. I have a background in music. Like you want something to be perfect, you know, as an artist, right? Because you're going to be, you know, exposing this to the world. That's a deep, like, you know, intimate side of you, you know? So while we were building this, I was like, you know, we need to do this and build out this strategy and whatever it is. And Raheem, my co-founder, he was just like, dude, like, let's put it out. Like, let's just put it out and see what happens, you know? And then when we put it out, our idea and that feeling just got reaffirmed. Like it got reaffirmed again, like not even a couple weeks ago. Amjad, he was in an interview, shout out to Amjad, by the way, and he was saying like his team was asking him about Agent 4, and they're like, Amjad, like it's not ready, like it's like 50% ready, and he's like, launch it. And they're like, well, like there's so many bugs, and he's just launch it. He's like, we can launch it and have our users tell us what's wrong with it. They're gonna love it regardless, right? And those are the early adopters, you know, and it's just going to continuously build. So like throughout this journey, we've just like that statement, that motto of just like 60% ready means like launch. It's just been continuously like reaffirmed. And I've talked about it so much now, literally within this last like 4 months, like people, I'm no guru, you know, like I'm no expert. I'm just somebody who's figuring it out on the way, just like so many other people in this chat. Right. And so many people have asked me like, hey, like, what should I do about this? What should I do about this? I'm like, hey, like, where's your product? And he's like, we're almost done. I'm like, launch it. Like, what, like, don't wait, because you're giving yourself analysis paralysis. And it's like if like you continuously fall down that route, which I've done many times, like you're never gonna do it.
Spot on. Who has the answer? Your paying customers has the answer. Like you're not going to be able to answer questions on their app. Like what do you know about their app and their target market? Like the folks that are willing to pay for that or showing interest in the application, that's who you have to get in front of as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And that's a great thing. I think that's what, you know, the great thing about Replit and how, you know, things are changing now. Like it used to be that you needed to do that upfront research to de-risk a build because it would take months to build a prototype. It would take thousands of dollars, take a lot of time. Now that is all gone. You can spin up a prototype in a weekend and get it in front of people.
In minutes.
Literally. Minutes. You were at the gym. You were talking with your partner, right? Like, here, we want to do this, blah, blah. Chat with agent, like get a plan, and then like, you know, send it, put it into build mode, get agent to build on it, and then do your reps and then come back and see if it's good enough to launch.
Seriously. No, I mean, that's you said it better than I could have, honestly. It's just get it out, honestly. Like with how fast AI itself is moving, right? Like you guys are launching a product like every week, right? Like literally a month ago, you guys were launching a product literally every week, like nonstop. And with how fast AI is moving, and like there might be something that's way better than Silk, like in 6 months, right? But we just realized like we have to move fast and iterate fast, because in AI, like no one's using the model of ChatGPT that came out 2 months ago. Like everyone's using like the newest codex, right? Or the newest Claude, right? Higgsfield is dropping something new every single basically day, you know? So just iterate, get it out, iterate, get it out. And if you get it out and there's no traction, you know, like boom, like you got it out and you tried, like you can move on to something else, or like you want to continue to do it, but like just put it out into the world.
This is something else that you're doing exceptionally well. The content, the attention getting. Content is king, man. It's why I love like talking to different like people that are building on Replit and having them come from different perspectives. We have designers that come with their own perspective, project managers, and you like as a marketer, as a content person, like you have this angle, which I think is really compelling. But you have this suggestion here: post every day on social, no exceptions. Tell us about that.
You have to. It's so, I don't even like, it's so important, and important, like you can't understate that. In a time where even if you're scared of the camera, like if you're posting faceless content, if you're hiring somebody to do content, if you're paying money for ads for content to be made, if you're hiring an Upwork or Fiverr, like somebody to make content, you need to, like, you could be the best neurosurgeon in the world, and like you found the cure to to fix or help fix brain cancer. But if nobody knows that, like if you're not putting out a tweet or a Reddit forum, or you're not putting it on social media, like, okay, your friends or family are gonna know. But like if there's no publication, like if you can have the best idea in the world, but if you're not putting it out there, you have to show up every single day. Listen, I'm still posting videos. So I've been posting content like on and off for like the last 10 years. Like I have severe ADHD, so I'll start something, I'll make a whole empire in my head, and then I'll film content for like a week, 2 weeks, and then I'll fall off. But I made it a point to myself, like I have to post every single day, at least once a day. And I made that like basically my New Year's resolution. And I started December 31st of last year. I have posted every single day since then. And if you click the Reels tab, like some of my videos are like still getting 300 views or 400 views. And some of them do well, some of them right here, like right next to the 9 squares, down just a little bit, little play button.
Oh, okay. I'm new to Instagram.
You're good. Like some of my videos aren't getting any likes. Some of my videos are getting 300, 200 views, 50 views. But like I know it's a long game. I know this is just me. Like the video that I posted last night, like my hair is crazy. Hey, I'm gonna be on the live show like tomorrow. Like anybody who wants to come see, like it's reps for myself, because as the business continues to grow, like I'm growing as well, you know? And this is a skill set. Just talking to the camera is a super, super high value, like high income skill these days, you know? So being able to talk to the camera, being able to get onto a mic and talk to amazing people like yourself, you know? So I made it a point to myself to post every single day, and it's been super invaluable.
I love it. One, I think it's super helpful as you start thinking about what pain points you see out there in the space and what you should be targeting and what you're building. So you're out here, you're posting every day, and you're getting feedback in the comments like, oh yeah, like that resonates with me. That's a great idea. That's a problem that I have. So you're like learning from folks in terms of what you might build next. I also think that it's really good for building credibility, that consistency, like somebody showing up in your feed every day. I'm like, oh, this guy's after it, man. This guy is going to go somewhere I want to follow, and I want to follow this story. And then also when you do hit a banger or something that like really hits with somebody, they usually binge all the content that you've had previously. So this will happen to me quite a bit. I'm also trying to make it a habit to post every day. I'll like, post, crickets. And then I hit a banger, and then like that goes wild. And then automatically the algorithm starts populating all the previous stuff that I did in the last 2 weeks. So I'm getting like likes on stuff that I did like 2 weeks ago. I'm like, oh, okay, Seriously. This is cool, right?
Seriously, just like that. I mean, this is a big thanks to Amjad, because he retweeted it. But like I tweet on and off, like Twitter, I'm trying to be more active on. But it's like, I'm posting on some of the different platforms. It's so hard to like get my thoughts out, but I tweeted and I tweet sparsely, or like sometimes every day. And I tweeted that tweet that you're showing right now, and it got like 50K impressions, and I've gotten like 40 followers from it. Like,
whoa,
it's so crazy, yeah. And it's 100% true. Some of these videos are just like me in my kitchen, just like spewing like thoughts at the camera, just like, I have to get it out today, And the funny thing is, for me, saying that I'm posting every single day is I'm posting before I go to bed. So some of these posts are up. I'm up at 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, I have to post. Like I have to. So I post, and then I go knock out, and it's like 3:30 in the morning. But it's like I know if I don't do it for myself, right? If I'm not going to show up for myself, I'm not going to show up for my business. I'm not going to show up for my family and everything else outside of my world, So I think it's super important. And if I might be a little crazy posting at 3 o'clock in the morning, but I know in the long term, it's gonna pay out.
You got to get better at X. I got to get better at Instagram. So we're gonna have to swap
we'll help each other out.
Yeah, I know. Like I'm still figuring out like I post, and then I have to make it a reel, and then I have to like add stickers and all this, and like, oh my gosh. Yeah. The other reason why I find posting content on a regular basis helpful is because it really serves as a forcing function for you to articulate the value and the pain that you're trying to solve. So oftentimes, like I have an idea like, oh, this is something that's interesting, and then I get down and I try to write a post about it, or I try to capture it on camera, I'm like, oh, that doesn't sound right, or that
Mm.
like that's not really compelling. So it forced me to think like, okay, like what is really good about this, and how would I articulate that in a concise fashion under 2 minutes, or in a short tweet where I can communicate. And if I can't do that, then I have to go back to the drawing board and say like, hey, is this something of value for folks? I got to rethink that. So that's another reason
Yeah.
that I love posting, is just it helps me like make sure that I'm locking in on like what the real value is for folks.
Yeah, I mean, the most important thing with content is like we see all these people on all these gurus and all these people posting on content, and like they have all these cuts, this nice transition, the music, everything, and then you also see these people who are just yapping to the camera, like, you know, shout out Higher Up Wellness. He's like, you know, the goat for just speaking on camera. And you see all these people and you're just like, oh, like my content doesn't look like that, you know? But like you have to test so many different forms of content to find out like what works for you, right? Like some people's content is a 5-second clip of them with text on the screen, and those go crazy. Like on our Speak Soak page, all of our content up until like maybe the beginning of last month, all of our content was just me like filming, talking to the camera, like Raheem like filming me, and like, you know, I'm talking. But up until a month ago, we started posting graphics. That top graphic right there has that top graphic almost has 400,000 views.
Wow, dude. Yeah.
This graphic alone has, it's just the flags. Like, and I'm being 100% transparent. Like we put a prompt in ChatGPT, and ChatGPT made this for us.
Wow.
So
amazing.
Like this has 400,000 views. Another graphic, if you continuously go down, like some of these graphics have like 200,000 views, like 100,000 views. And it's just a graphic. And like we weren't testing any graphics, right? The graphics are now part of our content strategy, and we just started posting memes, you know? So it's like where you have to continuously build out and test different things, especially early on, so you can find out like, hey, this is working really well for us. Like, let's do more of this, right? Like our first initial video that was a banger, right, that reached over 100,000 views was our video that we submitted to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
So then we made like 6 more of those videos, and we continuously reiterated on it, and it continuously does well for us. So I never thought I would dance on social media as well, but I posted a video in here.
Where's the dancing one? I gotta see the dancing one, dude. Where is it?
Go down. It's right there to the right.
Oh, let's go.
I'm like, I need to try, because if I don't, like, this is just like, I'm just like doing a traditional like dance, an Afghan dance. But I'm like, if I don't try, I'm going to be like, dang, like this video could have popped off and we could have gotten, you know, like 10 more subscribers from it. So it's like, why not, you know?
I love it. That's a great point, Base, is that you got to try different formats. And like, yeah, to your point, I'm oftentimes surprised. Like sometimes like things that like take me like a minute to do, they go out and they just scream. And I'm like, oh, like versus like me taking like hours to write out this precise script and edit everything and make it really nice. Like that thing you just like, you record in your car and people are like, yeah, this is amazing. Yeah. And so you just got to
relatable, you know?
Yeah. And you gotta mix it up. And I also think it's helpful to mix it up so that you get a sense of what your style is and what you're comfortable with. So like, I'm really comfortable on camera. I like these like short videos. I like having like a display next to me. It took me a while to figure that out. I toyed around with a lot of different other formats. And so you also have to think about it. If you're new to this, you're going to figure out like that exact format and style that you really click with. And that's going to be your go-to format that you just crank out every day. And then once you have that consistency, then you can start branching off and trying new things like a graphic or like a dance video or something.
Yeah. It's testing. You have to test. Like there's, was it Alex Ramosi or was it Mr. Beast? Mr. Beast, like, he tests 100 thumbnails like on every video that he posts. Like, I mean, he's the GOAT of YouTube, you know, but like he tests 100 different thumbnails on every single video to see like, okay, red shirt, blue shirt, like me smiling, me laughing. Like you have to iterate. You have to try so many different things. And like in the beginning, you might look crazy. So many people have said like, hey, like you're posting sometimes 8-9 times in a day. But I'm like, guys, like my sister came up to me, she's like, you posted like 9 times in one day. And I'm like, you see my content because you're one of the 10% of people of my subscribers who sees that. Like only 10% of people of your followers are going to see your content, all of your content, right? If your video is not a good video, that 10%, like if you don't get made past that 10%, like Instagram's not going to continuously push out your video. But it's like, who cares? You know, like we're trying to build something, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the way I think about it, you get many shots on goal. One of them is going to go viral, and that pays for all the other ones that you do. So if you get a bunch, and if you're starting off, I know that feeling. We've all been there where like you post, you get no engagement. You're like, oh my gosh, this is so embarrassing. But you just got to keep at it because,
It's
you know, it's
definitely
only
embarrassing.
right, isn't it? Like, I think we've all been through that. Like, I remember being in like, oh my gosh, like, oh, I only got one view on this, whatever.
I know.
But no, you just kind of have to write that out. Can I ask you a question? So, if folks are launching new products, what would you how would you advise them in terms of differentiation between their personal brand and the product? So like I see here that you have a Silk account and you also have your own Art of Base.
Yeah.
Like yeah, how
So-
do you think about that?
I think having your own personal brand is probably one of the most invaluable things you could ever have and do and create. It's like, so earlier on when we first started posting, I was doing a collaborative post with every single post on Speak Silk, right? Because again, people like to buy from people. People are invested in people, you know. So like, and all of our content was just yapping style videos or me like talking to the camera. So I was like, this is my brand, right? And this is my company, and we go hand in hand. So I was doing collaborative posts, and every single post up until like a month ago, it was the exact same post going up. But now, as we're hiring out, a team, and we have more people, and it's not just like as you saw in our videos, like it's not just me talking to the camera now. Like now, like we're putting together shoots and we have graphics and stuff like that. I think it's super important to start, like as a founder right now. I'm now focusing on I'm going to be doing long form. Like I'm going to be going into YouTube next week. Like fingers crossed, like, and I'm going to be talking about my process. I'm going to be talking about this conversation that we're having. I'm going to be talking about the interview I had with being able to sit down with Amjad and like my experiences, because your experiences are your experiences. Like you're one of one. Like no one else is going to have your experience. So if I started this business and you started this business at the exact same time, we're both going to have completely different experiences, So having your own personal brand that's separate from your business page, it's so important, because like you'll see so many companies. Like there's a company on Instagram and TikTok, an amazing, it's an athleisure and athletic wear company. It's called Minted New York. If any of you guys have heard of the company, it's an amazing company. But on Instagram, he does a lot, especially like I've been following him for the last like 3-4 years. He on Instagram, it's very, very curated, right? It's very brand focused. It's very like, here are our shoes, here's our running gear, here's our, like our lifestyle content, right? But then on TikTok, the founder is doing exactly what I've been doing since COVID, basically. He lives in New York, and all of his videos are just like, oh, this is what we're doing in the office today. Like, oh, he's responding to comments, and he is like diving deep on like samples and what a manufacturer said and like their pain points and stuff like that. So it's two different styles of content, right? But that's his like his TikTok page is his personal brand. Like he's just like talking to the camera, giving the people the insight of like what it is to run a company like this. This is him, Marcus Milioni, right here, the fourth video right there.
Got it. So just to unpack that a little bit. So one is you have the content for the product and service, and people expect that you just be locked in on that product and service. Like you have that for your Silk Instagram. So it's all about that and what they're doing. I think you launch on your personal brand, maybe that initial product, you continue to talk about it, but you also want to expand the scope and you just want to talk about your overall experiences, make it kind of more of a vlog kind of style,
Yeah.
which I totally get, because people want to see the behind the scenes of what you're building and want to like understand what you're doing. So I think that can be really compelling. And if they like you, then they go and try out your products, right?
Yeah.
And then you have this example here of Minted New York, who's actually same account but different approaches on different styles. Instagram more stylish, more polished, and then here, so this is Instagram here. I'm show that. So like more clean cut. Like here's like more professional. Oh, I see. Yeah, this is high quality stuff. Check this out.
Yeah, it's production level. It's ready. Like
Production.
they just had a launch with Saucony. So like it's grade A content. And then like if you go back to TikTok, it's like the fourth video, just like, hey, I'm pulling out this sample, this fourth one right there. Yeah. He's like, I'm just like talking about the product, right? And like he's just like in his own mind, in his own world, you know, like his day to day, whatever it is, you know, like he's just filming this on his iPhone. So
I love this.
it's so important. If anybody who's thinking about starting their own personal brand, like in tandem to what they're building, it's invaluable. It's super invaluable.
I love this so much. In part because it's you're if you're putting together a production grade shoot or you're doing content at that level, you're doing all of the heavy lifting, and so now you're just repurposing that work and putting it on this other channel to show the behind the scenes kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's almost like like movies now, like you got the main feature, right? But then you get the DVD and you get all the behind the scenes stuff. So it's just like extra bonus stuff that comes out of it, and
Yeah.
people really love that. So I think that's such a great suggestion, and I think that also is a great way for people to get on ramp to content, because I find people it's a little easier for them to talk about their process and what they're doing, the behind the scenes stuff, than to actually pitch their product oftentimes, like ironically enough.
Yeah.
So I think that this would be a great jumping off point for folks as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, like if your business like just so happens to just your business falls apart, right? Like you don't want to do your business anymore. And you know, it's like, okay, this is not what I want to do. This is a great chapter in my life and I want to move on. Like you still have your personal brand. And if you exit your business, you can talk about your exiting and your whole experience on your personal page as well, right? But if you don't have your personal page, then like the story doesn't continue, it just ends, right? And we all have amazing stories, so like why not continue it?
That's amazing. Aside from being great at content and just experimenting stuff, what else do you think is helping you succeed and helping you like hit these growth rates?
My team, through and through, my team. That's the last tip on that tweet. Hire the right people, because if you don't have the right people around you, like my co-founder is through and through he's a dog, Raheem, and he's working side by side. He also runs 2 other businesses, but he's up with me till 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. Like he's working, you know. And even if he's not working directly with me on Silk, like he's working on his own thing. Like you having the right people around you and having a great support system, right? Like my wife is asleep and I'm working till 3 o'clock in the morning. Like she understands that, you know, like having the right people around you and continuously just trying to build that. It's so important, because once you find like one good person, right? Like besides my co-founder, we hired an engineer, and this guy is like, he's giving us tips. He's like, hey, we can save money like this and we can do it like this. And he's like he's invaluable to us because he's treating this company like it's his own, you know? So it's if you've never hired somebody, it's definitely going to take some time for you to learn like what you're looking for, right? But as you continue to grow your business, I think the most important thing is getting the right people around you and hiring, you know, like whether you're hiring through Upwork, through Fiverr, your friends, your family, whatever it is, like having the right, I would say like setting the expectation early and getting in a zone, and then you're going to have to let people go, right? Because you're going to hire somebody and it's just not going to work out. And then you have to, you know, it might bite you in the butt because you're just like, now I have to like teach somebody else, right? But that just comes with the process, you know, like Dario says, you can't have an ego, right? So
hire slow, fire fast, and that's what that's what comes with the territory when you're building a team. I guess my question would be based like when is the right time to start building out a team? Because I can imagine that being too early or too late. How would you think about that? Because I can argue both sides of this. Like you want it as soon as possible, as soon as you're getting traction to help grow and accelerate things, or you want to push it off because you want to stay lean and you just want to offload more things to automation and AI. So I guess like any tips there in terms of how you're thinking about that threshold?
as far as like onboarding a team and hiring,
Yeah, starting to build a team. Yeah, like adding more people to the headcount.
it's tough because I think that the world of AI is still so new, right? And like there's an AI for everything, right? But that we're still like in the early majority, right? We're still like in the innovators phase. Like we're still in that 2.5% of people like using AI, right? I don't know if you saw that chart that came out of just like every square is like 2.5 million people or whatever it is, and like it just shows like the small majority of people who are like using AI, and then the smaller majority who have like paying a $20 subscription, a $20 a month subscription, right? Like it's you can use AI, right, for a lot of different things throughout your business. But I think the learning curve is for some people can be difficult, right? Because we're 20, almost 30 years past the .com era and people still don't have websites, you know? So like there's going to be that curve, but I think hiring people, it just depends on how fast you want to grow, right? Like we are trying to get this to like anyone's trying to make this a unicorn, right? Like we're trying to make this a unicorn, right? And ultimately, like we do have our eyes set on, you know, one day exiting, you know, because we know like Duolingo would want this, right? Like because we have 40 different languages that they don't have, right? Or Rosetta Stone or something like that, you know? So like an exit is in mind, right? Like down the line, but like we're trying to hire because one, we also have families that we need to provide for, you know, like I have a 15-month-old, my partner he has 2 kids of his own, you know, like we have houses and families and whatnot. So we're just like, we want to grow this fast because the demand is there specifically, right? Like people are asking, what about this? What about this? What about this? Like, let's do this. And we're just like, we're sitting on hot coals if we don't move, you know? So like whether Replit can do it, and if Replit can't do it, or Chat or Claude, if they can't do it, like let's find an expert to do it. Like we just hired a data analytics manager. I spent the last 9 years of my life and my career in marketing, and I'm very in depth with marketing, as is my partner. But like an expert in data, like we needed that because we have so many data points coming from Replit, coming from our admin backend, our Google Analytics, our Stripe, our customers. So we brought somebody in, and he's been like he hit the ground running. So it's super invaluable.
I love how you're already kind of thinking ahead, like the possible exit, the growth. I guess I'm curious, maybe you could talk a little bit more about what you see being the next stage in growth for you folks. And then also I'm curious, what do you think you'll have to do different as you move on to the next level?
As far as growth, the most important things are making sure that the user has a good experience, right? And then product iteration and product feature iteration. So we have a whole long list of product features that we want to add, right? But the most important thing is like making sure that there are like as least amount of bugs as possible, right? And making that a good experience, and then continuously grow from there. So as far as growth, like I would be lying to you if I said like, hey, you know, we want to exit at, you know, 100K MRR, whatever it is, right? But we do want to get this to a point where it's like, you know, we have 40 languages, and under each of these languages, there's millions and millions and millions of speakers, right? So we have a very long road ahead of us, right? And you know, I think it's just taking it one day at a time, but also like knowing like, hey, you have a big offer, so like you better work hard.
I love it. Well, you're gonna have to come back when you hit 100K in MRR, dude.
Well, it'll be a 3P, me and you, back to back.
Let's go, man. Need anything else you want to share with folks before we sign off here?
It's been great talking to you, Manny. Honestly, it's been good. Thank you for having me again back on here. If any of you guys want to learn any of your native languages, I don't know if any of you guys speak Dari or Pashto or Urdu or Tegalu or Tamil or Arabic, we have all of them, and we are competing with some pretty big players in the game like Duolingo, Rosetta Stone. But we're trying to do something for ourselves, for our kids, and for our culture and for our family. So if you know anybody or yourself who will want to learn any of these languages, go over to Speak Silk on our Instagram or on our TikTok. Give us a follow, and just a follow helps us out a lot. If you see our video up there, just give us a like, share it to one of your friends. But we really appreciate everyone who's been following on the journey. It's been great.
Amazing. Great to have you on the show again. In the show notes or in the recap email, I will send out links to all of your socials. Definitely follow Base. Also, I'm looking forward to the new YouTube content that's coming out, sort of more like vlog, like behind the scenes kind of stuff.
Awesome.
And no, thank you so much. Somebody dropped a comment like, thank you so much for being open and transparent about what you're building, your process. Yeah, man,
Build in public. You got to build in
yeah,
public.
build in public and share. Like that's what I love about our community. We had Elias on. He was a winner of our Replit 10 build-a-thon, and he's doing some great stuff on TikTok. And he was like sharing all of his tips and all of his tactics. And so, thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing with us and giving us all these great tips. If I would encourage everybody, if you have not posted anything on socials, like face on camera, I suggest you do that. Do that sometime this weekend. Do it by Monday, and I'm sure Base would love it if you tagged them on it. Tag me.
Seriously.
Tag me as well. I want to say, yeah, if you haven't done it in a while, this is your call to action. Do it today. 30 seconds, really fast. Tag me, tag Base, and then would love to see that from all of you.
Please do. I'll be excited to see your guys' content.
Awesome.
Manny,
Great.
Pleasure, man. Always. I'll see you on Twitter, man.
I'll see you back here at 100K MRR. Okay.
Indeed, we'll make it happen soon.
Let's go, man. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
All right, man. So cool. I love that guy. Love that team. Love the story. Again, also for me, like I come from the sort of a more of a like a product manager, technical data analyst type of background. And so to get the perspective of someone like Base around like marketing first, distribution first, content first, social media first, and then build, like to me, that's very eye-opening. And you can see the success that Base is having. And so like, yeah, the fact that he's coming on the show and sharing that with all of us, that is so cool, man. So I'm gonna take a moment here, just go through some of the comments here. If you have any questions or anything that we didn't touch on earlier, feel free to drop it in the chat. Yeah, people are saying amazing conversation. Isn't that so cool? And what I love about these interviews is that you have people that are coming on, they're making progress. They're not like 100% there, but they're so willing to share what's working for them. I hear big shout out to Elias here. I keep bringing up Elias. Go watch that replay with Elias. I got to actually clip out that segment of Elias and make that available for folks to make it a little bit easier for you to find. I will do that this weekend. But yeah, he was on here. He's doing some great stuff on TikTok, and he walked us through in detail what he was doing in TikTok. And it's stuff that you probably could charge people for the knowledge that Elias dropped on that show. I would say you could charge $500 for. Yeah, absolutely. I would do that. But the fact he's on the show and he's giving us all these great tactics, Base here is telling you what he's doing. He's showing you, giving you tips. Like that is just so great. It's what I love about this community. So we're going to keep getting people on the show that are building. I want to track their progress over time. Folks like Elias, folks like Base, they're going to be hitting it big. And I just want to be able to capture their progress along those different nodes so that we can learn from that, so that you can be inspired, and so that we have all of that documented with one of these folks makes it like big, like on Forbes or like something. We're going to be like, oh, they were on the show when they were just starting at 10K MRR, or like when they made their first dollar, when they launched their first app. I think that's going to be really cool. So if you have folks in mind that you'd love for to hear from or to have me have on the show, please let me know, tag me. And I think, yeah, definitely, I think Elias, you have to have again, give us an update and let us know what he's doing. I'm going to read your comments again. Any questions or any comments you want to drop in here before we sign off here? Yeah, totally. Like, Elias is amazing. Everybody loves Elias. Elias, we need an update, dude. Where are things? Let me know. Killer stream. Thank you very much, KG. Let me look at some of the pinned comments that I had here. Oh, I saw this earlier. Manuel is going to try to do a deep dive video on one of his apps. And yeah, I think that's perfect. I'm trying to do more of that. The sort of behind the scenes thing. So a little bit of a sneak preview of what I'm going to roll out next week. I'm trying something new. So as part of my responsibilities here, I oftentimes have to build demo apps and do presentations. And so a week ago, I was at a creator hackathon where I did a demo, and I recorded the process of building out that demo, from like coming up with the idea to the initial prototype to actually like demoing it live and working through bugs in real time, and then what the people how how they liked the actual application. So I captured snippets of that, and so I'm gonna take all of that and put it together and put that out there and say like, hey, here's like a like here's how I prep for a presentation, here's how I think about the demo, here's how I deliver it, and here are all the things that happen along the way. And so I have to do that demo anyways. Like I've been committed to this thing. I got to show up and I got to do a cool demo. And so it's just a matter of like taking a moment to like capture my thoughts in real time, like, oh, here's the idea that I have. And then like fast forward 1 hour, like, oh, actually I had these bugs, or this is actually not gonna work, or like I found this out, capturing that, and then like on the way to the event saying, like, okay, I'm kind of nervous about this. Is it gonna launch? I don't know. And then like afterwards, like, okay, here's like the recap, here's what I did, kind of thing. And so it's about capturing that and like stitching it together and sharing that. And I think that's a little bit of what Manuel is going to do here, and what Base was referring to is capturing that behind the scenes of what you're already building. It's a kind of a, you're repurposing the work that you're already doing, and you're just creating content off of that. So encourage you to think about that. And would also say like you don't know, when I first started my content journey, I felt like, oh, like everything that I posted had to be a polished thing. Like I have to ship this app or like make it like complete. But I feel like people really appreciate me just kind of coming in like, here's what I'm working on, here's what I'm doing. And so if you'll notice, if you follow me on X, as I'm getting ready for a stream, I'm doing work to prepare for it. And I'm like, oh, this is really cool. Let me share this really fast with folks. And those do surprisingly well. Let me give you an actual example of this. So let's see here. Let me go to my profile page here. Share this. Remove this. Okay, so this is a launch video that I did for our Shopify integration. And so what I have to do is I have to build out this app, and then I have to record the process of going through this app, right? So this is a deliverable. Okay, but there are things that come out of this that I can repurpose. So what did I repurpose? So if I go back a couple of posts before this, see, I can been a little active. Let's see. Am I sharing the screen? Let me make sure I am. Okay, perfect. Okay, we're all right. So it's further back than I thought. Okay, cool. It's this. Okay, so as I was building out that demo, I was creating these assets, and I just posted about this like, oh, like I'm building this demo. I can't tell you what it's for, but this thing that I'm building is like really cool because I have multiple artifacts in one project, whatever. And like this one post, like it was a kind of, I did this like at midnight. As I'm logging out for the day, I'm like, this is really cool. Let me share this with folks. And this did like 15K views for me. Like it's a really good, at least for me, it's a really well performing post. And it's content that it's work that I already have to do. I'm just repurposing it. And there's I think there's like I forget like the team. I think this is the folks from Rework, but there's like I think this is a very popular concept that has really stuck with me from Rework. I think it's called repurpose your work. Let me try to find that. Recycle good ideas, is it? Rework, repurpose, revitalize. If someone in the chat can give me a sense of or can fill this in, let me get this, because I think this is a really good concept that I want to share with all of you. So let me just drop this in. There's a concept from the guys from Rework, or I think that's the name of the book. There's these two guys that run Basecamp, I think. I forget their names, but they have this concept of repurposing work. So the idea is that if you're going to do some work, you just, whatever comes off of that, just reuse that and repurpose that. And I think the analogy that was used is the analogy of Rockefeller and oil production. Like, I think, in oil production, you get a whole bunch of byproduct, and whereas other people would throw it away, Rockefeller was actually taking that and reselling it and at like just getting some value from that. Can you let me know who I'm thinking about? So let me drop that in the into one of my AI assistants, and then we'll bring this up. And so again, like I'd say, like as you're working on something, take the time to document it, to share it. You'll be very surprised about what like you get out of it. And it's also a great way to document, like just to document things and share your journey. Okay, so here is the okay, so it's Jason Friedman, and it's let's see here. The book is Rework. And then it's yeah, so it's the analogy fits things, refining oil, offshoot byproducts. Yeah, so the idea is like you got to do this work, so like just reuse some of it. And the analogy that they use there is like around oil refinement. That like as you produce oil, you get these byproducts of petroleum jelly, tar, gasoline. You use this as like additional sources of value for what you're doing. So I don't know, for some reason that always stuck with me. So as I'm building stuff, I'm always thinking like, oh, what's a interesting way that I can repurpose this and share with folks, and try to get some additional value from the work that I already have to do. Like again, the bulk of the work is me thinking about the story and thinking about the demo and the production and all that. Like that's my key deliverable, but there's like little things that I can pull off of that and still show some value or like or share with folks. Cool. So let's see here. Let me go through the yeah, vlogs are awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do more vlogs here. KG wants to build live. Might have to do that, KG. Yeah. So perfect. So thank you so much, Elias. Now, man, I think it's we're creating the space to bring in great builders like you, Elias. We have Noni, we have Nadia, we have Ruth, we have Chris, Uncle Fatty always showing up. I gotta see who Uncle Fatty is. Reveal yourself, Uncle Fatty. Shoot me a DM. So no, I think what we're doing is we're just trying to create a space for all of you great builders to come together. Previous to doing these live streams, I was having one-on-one conversations with a lot of great builders, and I just thought like, man, these are amazing folks. Wouldn't it be awesome to try to bring all of these folks together to learn from one another? And I think that's what we've been trying to do over the last year, is to build out that space, whether that's on Discord, whether it's on these live streams and these chats, whether it's on social media. I'm connecting with a lot of you on social media. I just followed Noni and Nadia, their podcast on Instagram. So I'm going to be tracking them and connecting with folks like Elias and Base. So I think we're just trying to make it easier for other great builders that are already building in Replit to connect with other great builders and learn from one another and support one another. That's one of my favorite things about the group that we're bringing together. I think a really good example, Rymar mentioned this on the stream a couple weeks back, is the way that Elias got on our radar is that other people in the community were flagging his build to us. Like first, like we kind of looked at it, we're like, oh, whatever. Like it didn't really pop for us. But then enough people were saying like, no, you got to go check this out. This is amazing. People within the community that are also participating in the build-a-thon, and they're saying like, yeah, this is really good. And we take a second look and we're like, oh yeah, this is actually really good. And so, the fact that people are supporting each other and helping each other, that to me is my favorite thing about this community. And it's something that we're working really hard to maintain. And I think you're also seeing it with the folks that are coming on the show, where like there is no gatekeeping. People are giving you their best tips that I think, again, they could charge money for, and they're making that available to all of you, and they're sharing that with all of you. And I just hope that you take that, you learn from it, you put it into action. Again, if you haven't posted anything on socials, now is the time to do it. Please do it. Take 30 seconds, just do it, and tag me, tag Base, and would love to see you do that. And then also that once you start getting some success, you also in exchange return the favor as well. So like once you hit your first 1K in MRR, then you come on the show and you tell us how you did it, and like pass it forward in a way, and just like continue to help folks to build and to see success in this new world that we're in. It's a brand new world for everybody, so it's great to be sharing it with all of you. Okay, very neat. Let's see here. Let me feel got a couple more minutes here before we log off here. When is the next build-a-thon? Are you all interested in another build-a-thon? Are you guys ready? Are you all rested up from Replit 10 build-a-thon? Let me know. Yeah, let me know if you'd be in for another build-a-thon. Manuel, yes, the Vibe dating app. Who's building that? Yeah, yesterday we did a live build, or started continue to work on the live build, and we were talking about this idea of having a dating app that you could build for Vibe coders, I guess. So let's see who builds that up. Yes, Sauron. Yeah, whole new world, and we're all figuring it out. I mean, this is why I think this is so interesting for me. If you look at what some of the big technologists are saying, like for example, like a Mark Andreessen, for example, he's seen multiple waves of technology innovation. He saw the internet come about. He started the web browser. He saw the cloud boom, mobile, and then when you see interviews and he talks about what's happening with AI, he's saying that AI is going to dwarf everything. It is so massive. It's going to be so much bigger than all of those technological waves that have come before it. And so, that's a little bit scary. It's also very exciting. And I think that's why it's so helpful to have this community kind of like moving together in that direction. We're kind of like early explorers that are heading in a direction. We kind of don't know where it's all heading, but we're all going to stick together and we're going to hang out and we're going to learn from each other and support each other into this new world, into this new space that we're moving into. And I just find that fascinating because you have folks like Elias, you have folks like Ruth, you have folks like Nadia. They're figuring things out. Casey Tech, they're figuring things out, and I'm learning from them. I'm trying to share that with everybody, and everybody's just learning from one another, and we're figuring it all. We're all figuring it out in real time. And we're very early. And so I think to the extent that we figure it out and we show the value that's coming out of this and we're able to have some success, and then we're able to go back and help others figure it out, that is going to be such a benefit that we can make to everyone. Like I think of Nadia and Noni as well. Like they have figured out this whole vibe coding thing. Now they're putting together programs and podcasting content to help other educators also leverage AI and vibe coding to make their life easier and to create richer learning experience for those students. And so I think that no matter where you are, if you're on the stream, you're an early adopter, you're super early, and what you're figuring out right now is going to be so helpful for the 95% of the other folks that are eventually going to get to this point and have to adapt to this new world. So I don't know, that just kind of, that really lights me up. So yeah, generational changes. It's gonna be wild. I don't know. It's gonna be wild, but I think it's gonna be fun. It's all gonna work out. All right. So thank you everybody for being on today's show. Let me know what you think, and again, drop your feedback on skills, custom instructions, anything else you want to see from us next week. Maybe a little bit lighter on the streams. But I think we're going to have the Build Your Business Live come back on Thursdays. And for sure, we'll have a Friday showcase as well. Actually, no, next week we have a holiday. So I think we'll move the Friday showcase to Thursday showcase. And we may do something else on Wednesday. So be on the lookout for that. But as always, just follow me on social, follow the Luma calendar, and you'll get up to date on the programming for next week. And also, if you're an enterprise user, we're going to have episode 3 of our enterprise focus show on Monday. So you should have gotten an email about that. That's only for enterprise users. So join us on Monday. That's going to be a fun show. Okay. Let's see here. Any last comments here that I should tackle before I sign off? I don't want to leave you guys. I love hanging out with you guys. Thank you, man. Thank you, Manuel. Looking forward to that video that you produced. As soon as you drop that, Manuel, tag me. Make sure you post it on X and LinkedIn as well. I would actually, here's a tip, Manuel. I would actually, if it's short enough, I would natively drop it in LinkedIn and X. Actually, this is a mistake that I see quite a you doing, is quite a you folks doing. You post something on YouTube, like a video, and you'll just link to it in LinkedIn or an X. And that's problematic for two reasons. Number one is that it's an external link, so those platforms are not going to prioritize it. They don't want folks to come off the platform. So if you're making me go to YouTube, then it's going to drop you in terms of discoverability. And then two, like it's just a little bit harder to see. Like I don't want to necessarily go to YouTube. So I would encourage you, if you're posting something like a video, post it on X or like a shorter version of X, and then like link to the full video, and then also post it to LinkedIn. Also on X, you can post pretty long form videos, like however long it is for YouTube, you can post it on X. You can't do the same thing for LinkedIn. LinkedIn is only 15 minutes max. So, so as soon as you post that, Manuel, let me know. Make sure you natively post it in LinkedIn and in X and tag me. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you very much. We'll catch you next week. See you soon.